Here, let me help you.
Bender Bendon Rodriguez. That's simply the name of Futurama's biggest player. Seriously, he doesn't spare anyone. He screwed just about everybody. Humans, robots, married women, even a soda machine. This guy has done it all. However, Bender doesn't seem interested in any long-term relationships because what he really wants is just to have fun. Curious? Then stick around, because we're going to check out all the ladies Bender has gotten with. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's start with episode 2 of season 1, where Bender screws the daughter of a moon farmer named Crushinator, or as she's sometimes called, the Crushinator. The translation of her name varies depending on the episode, but I'm talking about this big pink robot with the deep voice. Apparently, she was deeply in love with Bender, who took advantage of that and had a fling with the poor thing.
I'll learn you to sleep with my robot daughters.
He'll never find me in here.
Next, in the first episode of Season 2, Bender boards the largest spaceship ever built, the Titanic. Yeah, apparently they hadn't seen the movie. Anyway, while on board, Bender meets the Countess de la Roca, and the two quickly get involved in a whirlwind romance, very Jack and Rose style. What's important here is that Bender actually cared for her because he chose not to steal her jewels. And when it comes to Bender, that's a huge sign of affection. Thanks to Zap, the ship ends up falling into a black hole, and the Countess sacrifices herself so Bender can live. It's one of the few times we've seen Bender genuinely sad over a woman. Now, in episode 5 of season 3, Bender visits the Amazon planet, a world ruled by powerful women and controlled by a central computer. But it turns out that computer was actually a robot tricking the Amazonians. Once Bender finds out, he of course screws her too. Then in episode 6, Bender gets a job at a factory where he meets a beautiful robot named Angline, and no surprise, he ends up in a passionate relationship with her. But here's the catch. Angline is the ex-wife of Flexo, a robot who looks exactly like Bender except for a goatee. In the end, Angline goes back to Flexo, and from this point on, things only go downhill. In episode 15 of season 3, after uncovering a shady scheme involving celebrity heads being used for profit, Bender ends up romantically involved with the head of Lucy Liu. Yep, no bodiless head is safe. This robot doesn't forgive anyone. You know what I mean. In episode 4 of season 4, the professor installs a new personality program in the ship and adjusts her voice to sound female. That immediately sparks Bender's interest, and he wastes no time screwing the ship. The two enter a serious relationship, but after a few days, Bender gets bored and goes after other women. The ship, full of jealousy, tries to kill Bender and the Planet Express crew. Because of that, they have to erase her new personality. In the movie The Beast with a Billion Backs, split into episodes 13 to 16 of season 6, Bender falls in love at first sight with Fanny, the wife of Donbot, the robot mafia boss. Bold as ever, Bender starts an affair with her right under her husband's nose. After a while, when Donbot finally figures it out, Bender loses interest and Fanny goes back to Donbot, who's basically a big old cuck.
Bender, your lips are intoxicating. It's like kissing an ashtray full of hot wings.
Oh, yeah.
In episode 4 of season 7, we find out Amy has a thing for bad boys, and that leads her to hook up with Bender, the biggest bad boy of the group. There's one problem though, human-robot relationships are illegal, so they try to keep it secret, but their passion gets them caught quickly. To stay together, Amy and Bender fight for the right to human-robot marriage. Eventually, the law is passed. But then Bender breaks up with Amy because he doesn't want just one woman, he wants many. The guy's a total player.
Uh-oh.
What's going on here?
Nothing.
In episode 3 of season 8, we find out that after trying to kill himself in a suicide booth, a common thing in the year 3000, Bender ends up dating the booth for 6 months, since it's technically a robot. Her name was Lynn. After Bender dumped her, she left town and moved in with her mother. But Lynn's mom tried to end her life inside her, so Lynn returned to work in New York. Not recognizing her, Bender stepped inside her again to off himself. But full of rage, Lynn decided to take revenge and killed him instead of letting him die by suicide, which, honestly, is pretty much the same thing. In episode 5 of season 8, after crashing a robot mafia wedding, Bender meets Bella, the daughter of Fanny and Donbot, and without a second thought, he screws her in the stables. Yep, Bender hooked up with the mom and the daughter. Now in the first episode of season 9, the professor buys a soda machine for Planet Express. But the machine is also a robot, and at first Bender absolutely hates her. Not only does she mistreat him, but she ruins his big night. They start fighting, but mid-fight, things get weird and, well, based on the back and forth motion, you can probably guess what happened. Sometime later, the soda machine gives birth to a little robot, Bender's child. Wipe my shiny metal baby butt!
Interesting.
And if you happen to miss the class on robot reproduction, you might be wondering how that's even possible. But don't worry, I'll explain where baby robots come from. Normally, robots come from factories, but when the demand got too high, they programmed robots to reproduce through mating. So when a male robot gets it on with a female robot, his antenna transmits a binary code to her internal system. That code combines the construction specs of both parents using a random algorithm. The resulting combination generates the design code for a new robot. And that's how baby robots are made. Now, in episode 4 of season 12, Bender takes part in a bullfight on Mars and falls for a beautiful matadora named Marquita Maria Cristina Chiquita Alana Paloma Ramona Rosita Catalina Lupe Lunes Martes Viernes Sábado Domingo. 1 hour later, Mariana Beniana Bonita Nereida Guadalupe Alvarez and a bunch of other names she didn't have time to say. But anyway, Bender falls for this woman and decides to become a matador just to screw her. But as always, after getting what he wanted, he cheats on her. And so, she decides to kill him. So, what about you? Can you remember any other females Bender hooked up with? And yeah, I say females because he also got with Calculon, who's a dude. Anyway, I think I managed to list all of Bender's romances in the show. If you remember one I missed, drop it in the comments. And if you liked the video, check out this other one right here. Go watch it, it's insane. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel for more crazy videos. See you in the next one.